I greet you, my friends. I welcome you to this edition of a mentoring masterclass. Today, I want to look at this topic, domineering attitude. Other people will call it domineering spirit. And I believe that you have seen people or you've come across a lot of people with this kind of spirit, this kind of attitude. They want to dominate you. I'm going to explain more on the domineering attitude or domineering spirit. Today, I want us to look at how to cope with such people and how to spot and control the attitude in your children. I welcome you to Mentoring Masterclass. Some weeks ago, I got this mail from a friend, and it has led me to put up this topic on how to cope with them. I mean, the domineering people. I have this close friend. I'll read the mail to you so that you will understand it very well. I have the mail with me here, and let me read it now. I have this close friend with whom I do many things. He is the kind of person who wants things his way all the time. If we are playing football, he will be commanding people here and there. If I was driving and he sits next to me, he will be instructing me all the way to our destination. The potholes to avoid, when to overtake, how to slow down, the next diversion, etc. As if I, the driver, do not know these things. At a stage, we were to do a project together. It is certain that I, a copywriter by profession, is more proficient in writing proposals and such letters. But he will find ways to conform the writing to suit his grammar and understanding of the purpose. You can never be totally good in your writings. There will be something for him to disagree with and something to correct. I tried to explain his attitude to him and showed him evidences in our other friends who always confront him over his domineering attitude, some of whom will turn it to open disagreement. He has a way of explaining himself as a perfectionist and wouldn't take anything less. At a stage, when I couldn't bear his overbearing attitude any longer, I sat down and counted the cost of cleverly shifting from him without open disagreement or brawl. I concluded that without him, I will survive fine. And that was what I did. I severed relationship with him. Without doubt in me, this narrative is a trait of a domineering spirit or the domineering personality. They see themselves as perfectionists. Domineering persons are often arrogant, bossy, like a military dictator or a supervisor who micromanages everyone at work. People who are strong-willed and overbearing can be described as domineering, like customers in a restaurant who demand things with a snappy finger. They have a very strong tendency to try to control other people without taking their feelings into consideration. Their behavior can vary from confident and decisive to being overly controlling and insensitive to others' needs. Is the word domineering negative? If you say that someone is domineering, you disapprove of them because you feel that they try to control other people without any consideration for their feelings or opinion. So that trait is truly negative. Domineering persons have a very strong desire to be in charge, to be in control all the time, make decisions for others, and have their way. Such people often prioritize their own opinions and goals over those of others, and they may struggle with compromising or considering alternative viewpoints. In more extreme cases, their behavior can come across as aggressive and overbearing. A dominant personality involves traits like proactivity, assertiveness, and often extroversion. Aggression and manipulation are also very possible. Many people will complain about them. Some will steer clear of them. Some will even fight them. They hardly have steady friends. Now, what does the Bible say about domineering attitude? The Bible addresses various aspects of human behavior and relationships, including those related to domineering spirit. While the term domineering spirit may not be explicitly used or mentioned in the Bible, there are passages that often guide on how individuals should treat one another and how authority should be exercised. Here are a few examples. Ephesians chapter 5 verses 21 to 25. I will quote the NIV version. It says, "Submit to one another out of reverence for Christ. Wives, submit yourself to your own husband as you do to the Lord. Husband, love your wife as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her." This passage emphasizes mutual submission and sacrificial love for one another. It encourages both spouses to respect and honor one another rather than exacting domineering control over one another. Number 2, Matthew chapter 20 verses 25 to 28. Quoting NIV version also, it says, "Jesus called them together and said, 'You know that the rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and their high officials exercise authority over them. Not so with you. Instead, whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant, and whoever wants to be the first must be your slave. Just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve and to give his life as a ransom for many." That is Jesus speaking. Let us look at 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 3. It says, "Not lording it over those entrusted to you, but being examples to the flock." This verse is directed towards leaders and speaks to the manner in which they should exercise their authority. And there are so many verses like that in the Bible. Now, because this is a mentoring lecture, I want us to look at how to spot the domineering spirit in a child, especially your children, so that they will not have issues as they grow up. For the purpose of mentoring, it is important to search for the spirit in our children, because children behaviors and personalities can be complex and dynamic. There are certain signs and patterns that might indicate a domineering or controlling tendency in a child. It is important to remember that these signs are not definitive proof of a domineering spirit, but they can serve as a potential indicators. Many parents inadvertently feed this spirit in their children, thinking they are pampering them or they are helping them. When a child asks for anything and he gets it, you are feeding that spirit. When a child is engrossed in pressing the phone, let me give you an example. A child is engrossed in pressing the phone, and you dare not interrupt that child by collecting that phone or asking that child to go and bring something for you. Parents who just say, don't touch him, leave him. You are feeding that spirit directly or indirectly. A child should be amenable to rules and regulation. Watch it. If your child displays a strong attitude to be in control always, the child will not take anything except what he wants. That child might resist suggestions or input from others and insist on having things their own way. A domineering child will frequently tell other children what to do, how to do it, and where to do it. They may exhibit the tendency to take charge of games, projects, or group activities without considering others' opinion. A child with domineering spirit has no spirit of understanding what others says or what others feel. They hardly share things, be it their toys, their food, their attention, things like that. At a stage in this selfishness, he thinks he even deserves more than others. Another trait is intolerance of second opinion. If a child becomes upset or confrontational when their ideas are being tested or their ideas are being challenged, it is a sign of domineering spirit. Domineering children may often use manipulation tactics to get their way, such as emotions. You want to control the mother by crying, and some mother will say, look, I don't want him to cry, I don't want him to cry. Let him just have his way. When you have such children and you cannot control such tempers, outbursts, isolation of others, difficulties in following rules, inflexibility, you are feeding domineering spirits in the children. While some children may display some of this behavior from time to time, it's the consistency and intensity of this behavior that might indicate a more pronounced domineering tendency. If you are concerned about your child's behavior, consider discussing your behaviors with your parents or caregivers, and if indeed seeking guidance from a child psychologist. This will help you to get your child in the right position of attitude of life. Now, let us look at these. How do you manage relationships with people with domineering attitude? I have a lot of them around me. They want to dominate you. There's nothing you do that is good. They will always tell you, no, let's do it this way. No, let's do it this way. It's not as if they are better than you, but that attitude is in them. Managing relationship with people who have domineering spirits could be very challenging, very difficult. But here are some strategies you can do. If you have some of them, let me give you some strategies on how to manage them. 1, accept them for who they are. The behavior of a dominant individual doesn't necessarily mirror their feelings towards you. It's probable that their behavior is not aimed specifically at you. Rather, that is who they are. Their approach might not involve using charming words or projecting a friendly demeanor. Instead, they tend to present themselves as assertive, direct, and unambiguous. Frequently, they anticipate a comparable response from you. That is who they are. It's not as if maybe they hate you or they want to dominate you, but that is who they are. Therefore, accept them for who they are. Number 2, stay one step ahead of such people. When it is a must that you must deal with a dominant person or a domineering personality, you need to be excellent yourself. If you are one step ahead of them, it can be difficult for them to feel the need to direct you or to need to control you. Let them see your excellence. They will bow. Number 3, setting boundaries. Acknowledging dominant characteristic in someone doesn't imply tolerating inappropriate conduct or uncomfortable attitude. Defining distinct boundaries can serve as a method to safeguard your emotional or physical needs. Set boundaries. Know what to discuss with them. Know when to discuss with them. When they are becoming very controlling of you, then you can walk away or you can stop the discussion. The next one is effective communication. Communicate with them calmly but firmly. Calmly but firmly. Use I statements to share how their behavior affects you. Tell them, oh, I don't like what you've just said. No, I don't like this attitude. No, I don't want this. This is what I think. And this is what I like. Let them know your position. Another way of defining your relationship with a domineering person is empathy and active listening. Try to understand their perspective and motivations. Show that you are actively listening, which can help diffuse tension. Also, choose your battles. Not every disagreement needs to be turned into a confrontation. Evaluate whether a situation is worth addressing or if it's better to let go. When a domineering person comes and starts to dominate you, you can just tell the person, please, 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 I'm not interested in this now. Choose your battle wisely. I'm not interested in this. I don't want to, don't let us go into that. And that will cut them short. That is one of the best ways to control a domineering person. Staying calm is crucial. When you are dealing with them, you are likely to have disagreement with them because they are likely to alter or change anything you are doing with them because they want it to suit them. Responding with anger or defensiveness can escalate situation. Be calm and explain your position and stay by your position. Focus on solution. Instead of dwelling on the problem, steer your conversation towards finding solutions that work for both parties. Find common grounds, identify shared goals or interests to build rapport and create opportunities for cooperation. Another one is assert yourself. I've mentioned this. Assert yourself. Tell them what you want and what you don't want. Avoid being reactive. Respond thoughtfully instead of reacting. Respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively to their behavior. This can prevent unnecessary conflict. There's also the level of self-care. Prioritize your well-being. Surround yourself with supportive friends and family. Engage in activities you enjoy and maintain a healthy balance in your life. When you know that someone has a domineering spirit, please be careful with that relationship. Don't all the time have issues with people. Look for what you love doing yourself. Look for what you love doing. And look for the right people that will motivate you, not people who will deflate you, people who will always push you into unhappiness. When you are unhappy concerning an issue, there is a lot of injury you are doing to yourself. Please learn how to be happy. Remember, it is important to gauge your own emotional state and well-being. If the relationship consistently causes stress, anxiety, or harm, it might be necessary to distance yourself or seek professional guidance. I believe you have gained something today on how to manage your relationship with people who have domineering spirits. God be with you today. Next week, you'll get another lecture from me. Bye. Bye.